Yo, what's going on, everybody? Welcome back to another video. It has been a minute, but I'm back. I was super sick for like over a month. I'm still very sick, but I figured I gotta show you this. So I filmed a ton of stuff with this car, and I want to bring you guys a really good update video on this swap project. It is pretty much done. We still have a few issues that I've not yet been able to figure out. This car's been a total headache, but a lot has changed. If you can see, this is the quick little teaser, but it does run, it does rip. And it will get its attention soon, but I'm very burnt on this car because I've been working on it for 6 months consecutively, and it's just been kicking my ass. Now, the main point of this video, I got another daily driver. I didn't show you the E46 wagon that I had. If you follow me on Instagram, you've seen my struggles with that car. So I had an E46 touring for about 5 or 6 months ever since I sold my last truck. Gas prices were crazy, the market for trucks was really high, so I kind of just sold the truck, and the wagon kind of served as like a filler car. Still use it to put shit in, so it's still practical. It was better on gas than a truck, of course. But if you know me, and if you've been watching this channel for any amount of time, you know that I like two things: E36s and MBS trucks. And when I was in high school, there was a truck that I could only dream of owning. I'm 21 now, and my fleet has definitely grown. So I figure, let's just cross it off the bucket list and buy a Duramax. Alright, so I'm not gonna lie, this was rather impulsive, but I looked at this truck right when it was posted about a week ago. Kind of went and checked it out, and you know, I looked at it in the dark, of course, first. Never a good idea, but the truck looked really good. Of course, you can see it's got some wear and tear. Looked at this truck a few times before I actually decided to pull the trigger on it, and I negotiated and talked the seller down quite a bit. So just keep in mind, I would never buy one of these for what they currently sell for, only because I don't really need one. So this one kind of just happened to work out. So I have had 2 of these MBS GM products before. I had, my first truck was a 5.3 in the same color with the extended cab. You know, I just did a level and you know, wheels, tires, headlights, taillights, that kind of thing. And the second truck was pretty recent. That was the GMC variant, and it was the SLE trim, still cloth and everything. But this truck is a 2003 Chevy Silverado 2500 HD. This is essentially cream of the crop for the year. This is like the 6.6 turbo diesel. This is full leather with the captain's chairs, like the center console, and the Bose premium audio. It has a 6-inch lift with some big old 35 mud terrains. The biggest thing that I wanted if I was to get another one of these trucks was a crew cab. So we have that, which is awesome. We'll go into the interior in a second. So I really don't know what I'm going to do with this. This is going to be a kind of over the summer restoration project. So please don't expect to see it that long on the channel unless I absolutely fall in love with it, which I highly doubt. It's a cool truck, don't get me wrong, but it's a very impractical daily driver. I also have pretty much no use for this thing. I can pretty much get away with towing everything that I own, both the E36s and another car that you guys do not know about, with just a gas truck. So having the diesel is cool. Will I keep it for very long? I'm not sure. I just kind of wanted one of these to cross off the bucket list. Like, if I had this truck in high school, I would have lost my shit. So like, the inner child in me really wanted this, so that's why I bought it. So we're gonna kind of go through this truck together because I have yet to really dig into this thing. I started vacuuming it out last night, but kind of ran out of time. So I'm gonna pick up on that today, kind of show you what I do when I buy a vehicle and what the plans will be for this truck. Just like right off the top of my head, there's a lot of things I need to take care of. So we will be getting to that rather soon. So we'll start with the exterior and we'll work our way inside. Believe it or not, the interior is what needs more attention. Alright, starting at the front of the truck, I'm gonna get rid of these. We'll swap these out with something aftermarket possibly, but this haze has to go, and rather than just trying to clean them up and have them fade back in a few months, I'd rather just replace them. This grill is still pretty good. The chrome is chipping up around the top here, so either I will do a different grill altogether, and maybe like a mesh style, just to kind of modernize the truck, because this chrome's kind of chipping a lot. New badge we'll get. Unfortunately, this plastic's going to be pretty hard to rejuvenate from its like faded. Yeah, I don't know. We'll try. I have some stuff that normally does a pretty good job with this, but this is pretty faded. So finally have a truck with the HD hood with the Duramax diesel badge. Pretty cool. We'll get rid of this big antenna, get something smaller, because we'll talk about that later. Realistically, there's nothing I can do about this or plan to do about this. There's no sense in like getting it painted or anything. This is just existing. It's just gonna be like that. I'm not like super bummed because the truck is 20 years old, so whatever. Same with this side. Not awesome, but you know, it is what it is. We'll live with it. I'm not, you know, the truck is never gonna be perfect, and this is not something that really bothers me. It's gonna get rock chips, dings, and dents like it already has, so I'm not worried about that. So the wheels are pretty gross. They're pretty 2000s. It definitely dates this truck, so I'm going to try and put some newer Denali stocks on here. Maybe we'll pick something else, but I think just a clean OEM stock wheel would do wonders for this. The tires are like really nice. They're pretty much new mud terrains, but this is a little too much for me. I really don't love the 6-inch lift at all, actually. I think either a 4-inch lift or a level on these trucks looks so much better, but it's already got the lift. I'm not going to get rid of it, I don't think. I just think we'll do the Denali stocks or something similar to kind of modernize the truck. But this truck will look so much better once it has all these little things taken care of. But yeah, it just looks like it came right out of 2003. So it's relatively straight for its age. This is a 4-owner truck, I guess 5 once I put it into my name. Clean Carfax, no accidents, nothing like that. So that's nice, always a plus. There's really no body imperfections that are major. There's a little bit more on the driver's side than the passenger. Of course, there's little dents here on the bed railing. And this is kind of, I'm just gonna remedy this by putting those little plastic guards up here. I think that's gonna definitely help this truck out. There's like a little scratch here, a little dent here, but overall pretty clean. As far as the rear end goes, not bad. The taillights certainly should be replaced with just another set of OEM lights. They're just kind of gross. We also need a screw for both of them. They're both like that, kind of just hanging out. A little dent there, and then this trim, of course, pretty faded. Makes the truck show its age for sure. Luckily, we still have the tailgate trim here. Pretty nice. A lot of these trucks, these are missing. I've never personally had a truck with this gone, but everyone I see on the road, these are gone. There are literal plants growing in the bed, so that is a serious thing we need to figure out. Nice toolbox in here, which is a huge plus because toolboxes aren't super cheap, and it's nice that this comes with it. Oh yeah, we need tow mirrors bad because this glass is all fucked. And these are not OEM, so the glass just dangles while you're trying to drive. Alright, this is where it gets bad. The seat is pretty bad. I don't know that I'm going to recover this. I might just try and source an entire seat for this. Just has to be kind of specific with the, you know, the heated memory seating or whatever. So, not super stoked about this, but what can you do? Push button 4-wheel drive. Bose premium audio, which is awesome. So inside, the truck certainly needs some work. This wheel, pretty worn right here, so I don't know. I don't know how much these steering wheels are. I'm sure they're pretty expensive, so it might just get a steering wheel cover on my ownership. We'll see. Or maybe a steering wheel, it'd be nice, but I'm not gonna dump a ton of money into this truck. We have the infamous fucking switch problem. I don't know how this happens, because everybody says this happens on their trucks. I never had it on mine, but this is how I received this one. It's got a little JVC double din, which is nice. The center console, of course, with the cup holders. I just love this. I love having all this space. I keep pretty much nothing in my vehicles when I own them, but I just think it's cool that this is like a huge area to be in. So these seats are pretty comfortable. This is definitely like a good road trip vehicle. Passenger side suffers from the same switch problem. All the controls work, they just are ghetto and dangly like that. Oh fuck, okay. Oh, that works. Unlock. Alright. The biggest bummer for me about this truck is the headliner. It is super saggy, but I think I am going to fucking get it done with some Permatex glue. We'll see how it happens though. Now, I really don't want to spend a ton of money bringing this truck back to life, but depending on how I like it, that will kind of determine how much money I end up putting into it, of course. Thing with these trucks is the injectors. Now, I don't actually have record of the injectors being done on this truck. Again, I got it for pretty cheap, so I'm kind of crossing my fingers there. There's no blow-by. It runs really good, but, you know, I definitely want to make sure this truck is solid. We'll go through it together, and I'm hoping that I will consistently at least make a few videos on this where you guys can see the restoration process. But yeah, a lot of this stuff is stuff that I think I can take care of, so I'm not too concerned. We'll have to play the waiting game for the seat and, you know, a few other things like wheels. But there's a lot of stuff that I can just make a list and go on the computer and order pretty much right away. So that is what I'll be doing. But first things first, this thing needs to be extensively cleaned. So I'll show you some of the products I used, and you know, we'll go over it. We got a little base controller here with two 12s in the back. So I quickly vacuumed this thing. It's not perfect, but it'll do for now until I can shampoo the carpets. We have two 12s. The other one, of course, is sitting under that seat. But some Scar Audio 12s, and then behind this seat is the amplifier. So the wiring is okay. It's actually pretty clean, but the base controller was clearly an afterthought, so that's just hanging out here. It's as clean as I would have expected, and at least they didn't run any wires through here. So because a lot of times people run it through the door jambs, and myself included. When I got my first truck when I was like 16, I just ran it right through there. So so it's ran kind of clean. I still need to go through the center console and the glove box because he left all of his shit in here. Same with the toolbox in the bed. That is a whole different thing back there. I can't, oh, it's gonna be a joy. These carpets, again, they're not torn up or anything, and they're not like terribly stained, but they could use a good shampooing. This whole thing reeks of wood, so that's kind of why I want to do that. You know, it's all part of the game though. This is what happens when you don't want to spend big money on a big truck. I think I actually forgot to mention this thing has 150,000 miles on it, which is like pretty low for these Duramaxes, so that's a huge plus. Yeah, push button 4-wheel drive, like it is a loaded truck. You just need to clean it. It's been heavily neglected in its past few years, so this will definitely be a restoration series because this thing needs quite a bit of love, but none of it is insane. Honestly, with a few hours of hard work on this thing, it will transform this truck. Alright, so as I said, here it is. We have our tuner here. Got our speedometer and our temps, which is nice, and we can choose between 5 different tunes. Got the touchscreen, but I need to go get some more of this Griot's interior cleaner, and I'll be back because it's still really gross. But I did go ahead and soak all this stuff, so like all these plastic pullouts, including the cup holders and everything in the center console, I soaked in soap and water and scrubbed them real good. So now that's clean. Inside of the center console is clean, and we'll just continue working our way through this thing, but it is filthy, so it still doesn't feel like my truck. Alright, after a few hours, it's looking a lot cleaner, leather conditioned with some Griot's, and it's got like this rough country weather textile mat. Pulled that out and scrubbed it really good. First step is to pull these things off. This is off the driver's side. These are like those grandpa guards, you know. I guess they're rain guards or something. I don't know. It's like a little tint strip that you put in there, plastic. They look like that, and they're coming off because I don't like them. So these rough country floor mats were absolutely filthy. I just went ahead and soap scrubbed them. They turned out pretty good. No more mud or dirt on them. So that looks awesome. Makes the truck look way more presentable. This truck was listed with pretty much no interior photos, and the owner neglected to include how ripped up the seat was. I used a ton of different points when negotiating with the previous owner about buying this truck. I ended up knocking him down $3,000 off of his asking. As long as I can find a seat and figure out the headliner, the interior will pretty much be mint aside from steering wheel. We can fix that with either a steering wheel cover or I'll look on eBay. It already looks so much better without these guards here. So the next steps for the interior that I want to take care of, the switch panels on the doors on both of them, like I said, they're kind of falling off. I want to just convert this whole truck to LEDs. We have LED map lights and dome lights, but the door lights are all still the amber color. So we'll switch all those out for LED. Those are pretty easy to swap, and then we'll need to buy another one of those reflectors for the door back, or actually this driver's side door. So we'll buy another one of those. We'll get LEDs and fully convert it to LEDs. The cluster, I don't think I'm gonna do anything with it because I don't think I'll have the truck long enough to like really justify doing it, but I've always wanted one of these trucks to have the Escalade cluster swap, so that's always an option. They're kind of pricey. If I keep this truck for more than I'm currently intending to, I might entertain that. Next, we are going to go ahead and tackle the engine bay, so I'm gonna just kind of clean it up with some degreaser. Make it look nicer, but it's also nice to check out the engine bay for anything that I might have missed when I was checking the truck out initially. Yeah, man, this seat, holy shit. So we got a smog legal cold air intake, which is pretty cool. Can't really see it under there, but it's in there. Another thing that's cool is batteries are pretty recent on this truck. They're only 3 years old, and on these trucks, when it's diesel, big heavy duty truck like this, they take 2 batteries, and so it's pretty expensive to replace batteries, so we shouldn't have to worry about that for a while. They are interstate batteries as well, which is also a huge plus. So I got some degreaser and some rags to sacrifice. I'm just gonna go to town on this engine bay. All right, so I just found something pretty cool. Hopefully these recalls are injectors. That would be sweet. There's 2 recall stickers here and there's 2 here. So I'm gonna look these up and kind of figure out, if I can, what these are, what they mean. Alright, so I'm not 100% sure what those recalls mean, but I will look into it later today. The fact that it does have some recall work done is pretty good. Means that at least it was dealer maintained for a little bit. I don't have too much records on this truck. The Carfax did show that it was dealer maintained, and I do have a receipt for like a $2,000 service for the dealership. But it has 4 recall stickers, so 4 of them were taken care of. The 2 that I was able to pull up was like the tailgate lock or something like that, or the tailgate whatever. So that's whatever. I mean, good that it got done, but nothing crazy. And then a fuel filter recall, which is great. That's excellent news. So hopefully this truck has seen a replacement of injectors. I'm not sure though. I'm honestly not sure. All right, engine bay looks a ton better. Don't get me wrong, it still looks pretty dusty and gross, but way better than it was. That's all I'm gonna do for now. We'll get back to this when we have some stuff to do under the hood. So there's a lot of stuff left in this toolbox, so we're gonna check that out. I've started collecting everything that I want to keep, everything I want to throw away. Sometimes you find some really good stuff with used vehicles. Good ratchet strap, we'll keep that. Holy shit. What on fucking earth, man? Some boots. Unopened toothbrush. Presumably stock exhaust. A 24. I needed this. Whole bag of metric wrenches. What the fuck is that? No idea. An amp? It's like Christmas morning. Alright, there's still quite a bit of shit in here. I think next weekend I'll pull this toolbox out and get everything behind it and underneath it, because there's a bunch of dirt and shit, which kind of makes me nervous. Just all that moisture collecting underneath it, but we'll figure that out next time, because pretty much spent all day cleaning this thing up. Gotta order a new fob. This one's kind of gross. That about wraps up today's video. Just wanted to quickly show you that truck. I have no idea what I'm going to do with it. I might keep it, I might not. I keep trucks for a while normally, but just the way my lifestyle is, I don't know that I'll hold on to this that long. It might just be a summertime thing. It might be shorter, it might be longer. We'll see what happens. But make sure to drop a comment down below or let me know in some way that you are interested in seeing videos on this thing, and I will continue making them. I've always wanted a new body style truck like that to hold on to, but honestly, all of them being 20 years old, unless you spend like big money, they're all gonna be kind of thrashed. You guys will be getting an update on Ernie, the Nightmare E36, rather soon. You guys can thank Richard for that name. So Ernie is the name of the white E36. So yeah, I've lost my mind with this car. I'm pretty much done as in terms of like building it. Now after this, it should be just fun stuff. But honestly, I'm still battling the leak that I had since I initially swapped it. So I'm pretty sure it's the oil filter housing. And I've done that gasket 3 times with different gaskets, with RTV, without RTV, always torque to spec. It is still leaking. So either it's warped or there's some other problem going on, which I don't even want to think about. So this car runs, it works. I mean, it actually runs pretty good. It just leaks like a pig. So unfortunately, I haven't been able to get much content out on this car only because of how much it's been fighting me. Thank you guys so much for watching. Anything you do does help this channel grow. I appreciate your support, so thank you so much for sticking around, and I will see you in the next one. Peace.